And so it begins. The recalls of the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. Yes, honey, Chesaboudin has been recalled. He has been recalled. And so it begins. A lot of these progressives who are soft on crime, y'all better get it together because y'all will be recalled also. Yes, good morning. It's your girl, Miss Analytical, and I am here on this bright and sunny Wednesday morning. So I literally was doing research on another topic when this literally just popped up on my New York Post newsfeed. So it reads, San Francisco voters oust DA Chesaboudin over soft on crime policies. Fed up San Francisco voters ousted their progressive district attorney on Tuesday in a recall election that rejected his soft on crime policies following surges in shameless shoplifting, car break-ins, and rampant open-air drug dealing. The recall effort against Chesaboudin, a former public defender and the son of convicted Weather Underground terrorists, was supported by 61% of voters in early returns, according to NBC. Tuesday's recall election, Proposition 8, on the ballot could prove a bellwether of voter sentiment across the U.S., including in New York City, where Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has faced widespread criticism since enacting a slew of progressive policies after taking office in January. Around the country, we have seen the rise of the so-called progressive DAs. Richie Greenberg, a former Republican mayoral candidate and spokesman for the recall effort, told the Post before Tuesday's vote. We here in San Francisco have lived it, and we don't want to see the great city of New York fall in the way that San Francisco has. New York does not have recall elections, but its governor is empowered to remove district attorneys who fail to do their jobs. Boudin's laws followed February's recalls of 3 San Francisco school members. Amid outrage over their decision to spend time renaming 1/3 of the city's schools instead of reopening classrooms closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mayor London Breed, who in December announced a crackdown in which cops would be less tolerant of all the BS that has destroyed our city, will name Boudin's replacement until a special election is held in November. This election process could be complicated, however, by another ballot measure, Proposition C, that if passed would bar Breed's pick from running in the special election, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. Boudin, 41, was narrowly elected in 2019 amid a nationwide wave of victories by progressive DA candidates who vowed to reform a criminal justice system they call historically racist and unfair. But residents of ultra-liberal San Francisco, population 815K, soon soured on Boudin's vision of radical change to how we envision justice, which included prohibitions on seeking cash bail, prosecuting juveniles as adults, and seeking tougher sentences under California's anti-gang or 3 strikes laws. Viral videos have revealed shoplifters running rampant during smash and grab thefts at high-end stores, with City Police Lieutenant Tracy McCray lamenting to Fox News last year that we can have a greatest hits compilation of people just walking in and cleaning out the store shelves. Offenses against Asian Americans also proliferated amid the pandemic, with lifelong resident Henry Wong, 74, saying that people spit on me on elevators, on the streets, and calling Boudin the worst district attorney the city has ever had. These are crimes Wong told the Washington Post, and he doesn't care. It's just so easy to break the law. The latest official police statistics show that overall crime in the city is up nearly 8% this year, with a 20% surge in larcenies as well as spikes in homicides, rapes, and assaults. Most polls conducted in the run-up to Tuesday's election indicated that voters were poised to get rid of Boudin by a wide margin, with the Friday survey published by the San Francisco Examiner showing 56% in favor of removing him. Boudin supporters pinned the recall effort on conservatives and business groups that raised more than $7 million to oust Boudin, who doubled down on his policies at a recent campaign event. This is not a recall campaign interested in safety or in the truth or in justice or in solutions. It's interested in division and fear and spreading hate and undermining policies that make our community safer, he said. Boudin is the son of Kathy Boudin and David Gilbert, who served as getaway drivers for the infamous 1981 robbery of a Brinks armored car in Rockland County, during which two cops, Nyack Police Sergeant Edward O'Grady and Officer Waverly Chipper Jones and Brinks guard Peter Page, were murdered. Kathy Boudin was paroled in 2003, and she passed away from cancer this May. Gilbert was paroled in October after former Governor Andrew Cuomo made him eligible during one of his final acts in office after announcing he was quitting over a sex harassment scandal. Now, I'm going to say this. I found out last year who the San Francisco DA was, because I'm from New York. So, I focus mostly on New York and things like that, and like other states and like certain prominent politicians in other states. Then I'll read up about them. But I had no idea that the son of the weather, I think it's called the Weather Underground terrorist group, was the district attorney of San Francisco. Hold up. Y'all should have known right then and there what it was going to be all about. See, you got to understand something. That group was no joke. They started out as the Students for a Democratic Society, okay? And they were committing like bomb attacks going as far back as the early 70s. And so when I read about this, I said, no wonder the crime in San Francisco went up. Y'all have y'all have an anarchist. Like, he was raised by anarchist parents, believe it or not. And, I did read about him, and he went to law school kind of late in life. But my thing is, he was put in position to basically bring the chaos that's coming about in a lot of these major cities. A lot of these cities officials are getting money from progressive left-wing organizations, and they're putting out policies to pretty much bring about all this chaos that's happening in these cities. That's why even in New York, we had a good 25 years of peace in the city. I would say from I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say 20 years. I'm going to say from 1997 up until 2017. And then it started getting crazy and crazy and crazy because we started having a lot of these overly progressive they're really socialist communists running office and then getting elected, and being soft on crime is you're not convicting people for the bull nonsense that they're doing. So I'm glad Chesa got recalls. And believe it or not, 61% in a city like San Francisco, that's not neck and neck. It's not a landslide, but that's serious. And I think it's legit. And I'm going to tell you something. If that can happen in a ultra liberal city like San Francisco, it can happen anywhere. And my DA, Alvin Bragg, he needs to be cautious because they can put the pressure on Governor Hochul to have him removed. Because believe it or not, since the whole thing that happened in Buffalo, 2 students in Queens have threatened to commit offenses in schools. That's not his, he's not the DA of Queens, he's DA of Manhattan. But still, it's if you're not minding crime and you're not cracking down on it and making the community safe as a DA, what's the point in being a DA? What's really going on? So this is going to actually get to the root of this problem. And really the main problem is you can't have people outside of the country or in the country that want to overthrow our government and criminal justice system to bring about chaos and have these people put in to run. And they're not really representing the people. They're representing interest groups. That's what's really going on. And I'm signing out. I'll be back because I want to talk about his mother, Kathy Hochul, because believe it or not, Catherine Boudin, because his mother actually plays a role in Tupac Shakur's father being convicted because he was involved in this heist, and it changed the course of Tupac's life, believe it or not. So with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Nicole. I'm signing off. I'll be back with another commentary, and then I'll be back later on today. I'll be speaking about his mother, Catherine Boudin. Later.